we said in the preamble, that we need to know some fundamental things of food materials, because unless we know that, we will not be able to decide which one to do and which one not to do, where to apply, where not to apply. So, because this class being a cosmopolitan, so others also should also know a little about. So, that is why I have decided, I have created that if you see the course content, and one more thing, it should be also clear that though the course content is said, it may not be absolutely possible to follow week-wise all the topics in the way it has been given in the course outline, right? Because that was done long back, and when the proposal was given. Now, when you are processing, when you are proceeding with the courses, it may not be that, and each class, as you know, is of 30 minutes. So, it may not be possible that the one which we have given can be adhered to. Something maybe which is of very importance can be given more emphasis, and for which others may be shifted. So, but we will try to cover all the topics which we have laid down in our course curricula, right. So, now let us go to the basic fundamentals of food processing and preservation, right. So, this one we shall start with, that fundamentals of food processing and preservation. Okay. Then let us also look into, for this course, what are the books you can consult, right. The basic course is transfer process, momentum, heat and mass transfer. This is a very good book. Most of the students, they follow this book. This is of Jean Koplis. The pronunciation could be Jean Koplis or Jean Koplis, right. Then transport phenomena by R.B. Bard, W.E. Stewart and E.N. Lightfoot. Now, this is also a very good book, because Bard, Stewart and Lightfoot, and normally you will see that most of these people or students or even teachers, they do say Bard Stewart, because by this name it is so much popular, and they are also, and these books are edited time and again. So, new things are also introduced into them, right. So, this is on total transport process. So, where our thing is on one part, that is heat transfer or thermal operations, right. Then third book is Chemical Engineering by Coulson and Richardson. So, this Coulson and Richardson has 5 volumes, right, volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, volume 4 and volume 5. So, you can consult those books also. These are all books which are normally available in any standard library, college library, any standard college library, these books should be available. Then transport phenomena in food processes or food process engineering or food processing engineering, perhaps it is in food process engineering. It is also written by A.K. Datta, one of our colleague, right, Professor A.K. Datta, a small which deals with mostly on the theoretical part, and some of the problem solutions are also there. Then unit operations in chemical engineering. This is again, by the name you can understand that it is also multidisciplinary, and this is written by W.L. McCabe and Smith and Harriot. So that's why again I tell you that this book is also popular in the name McCabe Smith, and Harriot is normally silent. McCabe Smith, anybody will tell, oh, McCabe Smith, and earlier it was in FPS systems, but the recent editions they have also introduced both FPS as well as SI, because now all engineering units are in SI. So, they have also converted that into SI. Then I like these two books very much. I also follow personally. That's maybe it is that liking the book is personal, absolutely, because the way the book is covered, the way the topics are covered, the way the language is used, all these have influence on the liking. So, that is why I don't say that beyond these books other books are also not appreciable, not like that, right. I cannot give you list of 100 books because that itself will take long time, and there is no end to that, right. And nowadays the whole world being in your hand, because you have this with you this what we call smartphone and others. So, these gadgets, electronic gadgets, they have brought the entire world perhaps in your palm or in your hand. So, like that, so you can as any time consult any other book if you like. There is no such demarcation that you can not do this or you cannot do that. Wherever you feel that this language and this topic is suiting me and I should follow that, you can, obviously. But personally, for heat transfer, these two books I follow very much. Number one is Heat Transfer by Frank Raeth. The treatment and language I like very much, and the other one by Heat Transfer by M.N. Oji-Sikh, right. This is also a very good book on heat transfer. I also like this book very much, right. But again, as I said, this is my liking, does not mean you have also to follow the same. You choose your book. The other one recently has come up, very recently, maybe a month or around. One of our colleagues, he has published, or not one, two of my colleagues who have retired and given full devotion on this. Very good book written by Professor S.K. Das and Professor M. Das. The name of the book is Fundamentals and Operations in Food Process Engineering, right. This book is also very good, well written. I have seen it a little. I don't say that I have gone through thoroughly, but yes, this is also a good book where the fundamentals are well covered. But I don't know whether the heat transfer was given so much emphasis or not. But yes, part of that is also there, right. So, after the references, let us go to the subject, right. What we call is food, what is it, right. So, normally we call one of the three basic requirements of mankind is the food. Three basic requirements means one is food, another is you should have clothing, and another you should have the something over your head, that is some room or house, right. These are the three basic needs of human being. So, the fundamental one is the food. Other two, if you get, fine. If you don't get, you are not going to die. But this one, if you don't get for a longer period, definitely you are going to either deteriorate or at the end die. So, this is the most fundamental basic requirement of mankind, right. It is also regarded as the source of power. So, whatever that I am talking to you, you are listening to me, all these required some power. So, who is supplying? This food is supplying all this power. You are working, I am working, I am coming from a place to this place and will be going out after the classes are over. Where from the energy will come? This will come from the food. So, by and large, food we call that one which normally we take through our mouth, right? Obviously, all the things which we take through our mouth are not food like medicines. Normally, they are not considered as food, though nowadays doctors, so that the patient does not have any impact on that, particularly any psychological effect, that medicine is being taken. Doctors do say that you take it as your food, don't consider it to be a medicine. So, you see, so food is so required that even medicines are also being said to be the food, right? So, that is where this is, of course, medicine is supplementing your body system, but food is also which is supplementing everything to your body required by the body, right? So, anything we take through our mouth, normally we call it to be food. Of course, that should be in the positive sense, means that should be utilized by the body for its betterment, for its maintenance, for its energy requirement, then we call it to be food, right? Don't say that somebody is taking some alcohol or some even cigarette smoking. They are not definitely, because that is also being consumed through the mouth. But in the beginning I said that which are helpful for the body, which are required by the body, when we take it through our mouth, that is called to be food. I don't say that this is the legal definition can be some other thing, but this is not the subject where we will highlight on that, right? We want to give the students some background on the why we should read it. So, that is what we are trying. So, right, what does it do? What the food does? It is the source of nutrients and provide the energy required for all activities. For example, growth, then repair of the damaged tissues, reproduction, sustenance, everything. So, everything is being supplied by the food. So, it has a multifaceted activities, right? So, for your growth, you remember when you were a child or when a newborn baby is coming up, maybe of this size, right? And that baby has now become a boy like you or a girl like you, right? So, that growth of the body is done by the supply of the food. So, body is supplied this food as required, and these foods are, and also like a man like me, an old man like me, who is required food. Why? Because not only for growth, but also for its maintenance and repair, right? So, with aging, definitely the requirements are also different, and that aging process, to combat that, this food is the basic thing by which it is to be done, right? So, what it does we know, then its availability, where it is available, right? it is related directly to the production and to the strength of the population. Obviously, that say at one part of any of the world, if a commodity is produced and if the population at that part is very low, that means consumption is very low, then the surplus where it will go. So, that is being supplied throughout the world, right. So, that means it is both coming as production and to the strength of the population, whereas a part where a commodity is being produced, a food material is being produced, whereas the strength of the population is very high, so consumption is very high. So, it may not be that the production which has been made is sufficient to cater the population there. So, there it may be required that from external sources that food may be imported or maybe bought for the people, right. So, that is what we said, that it is directly related to the production as well as the strength of the population. It is not equitable everywhere. Undernourished people and people with exotic food are also there. Obviously, if you know the world scenario, world situation, that there are many people who are not able to take 2 times basic food, that you know, they are called malnourished or undernourished people, right. Also, this is one extreme. The other extreme is also true, that people are not able to spend their money. So, a lot of exotic foods are being consumed by them and they do also waste many of them. So, these are the two extreme ends. Yes, in between are also there. So, all is that it is equitable, it is not equitably distributed all over the world. Had it been, then the people or mankind would not have any problem, right. So, unless and until, and that is why all these politics or all these incidents are happening, because of the maldistribution or unequal distribution or non-equitable distribution of the food throughout the world to all the mankind, right. So, what it supplies? It supplies the basic nutrients. There are 6 basic nutrients we know. One is carbohydrate, then fat, then protein, then mineral, then vitamins and water, right. Though water as of now is available mostly freely, I do not say all over the world, because in many parts where water is not so easily available, so there it is costly or people have to buy, but places like ours, like here the water is freely available, but do not put it aside, because this is one of the very basic nutrient required by the body, right. You may not be taking food, even the entire food, if you may not be taking a day, but you need to take food, at least water for the day. Otherwise, obviously body will be asking for water more and more. So, that time you will be in trouble. So, these are the 6 basic nutrients: carbohydrates, fats, proteins, minerals, vitamins and water, right. So, water we cannot keep it absolutely aside. Then, what are the nutrients we are getting? So, from this table we can say that nutrient contents in some different types of foods are like this. For example, if you take 100 gram of edible portion, right, milk or bread, these are the two which commonly we use as food. If we take them, the composition is like this. The water content of milk is around 87 to 88 grams per 100 gram, whereas bread has around 40 grams. Carbohydrates in milk has around 4.5 to 4.9 on an average, whereas bread has around 50 grams. Fat in milk is around 3.3 to 3.8 again on an average, depending on different sources of milk, etc. Different if you go into the dairy chemistry or dairy section, dairy science or technology, there you will see it is not consolidated to only 3.3 to 3.8. It varies very widely. However, so it is in milk 3.3 to 3.8, whereas in bread it is very low. It is 2 grams per 100 gram, and protein is 3.5 grams in milk, whereas in bread it is only 1 gram. Vitamin and mineral in milk it is roughly 0.1 gram, whereas in bread it is 1 gram. So, you see, depending on the purpose of showing this table is that you have an idea, right, overview of what are the nutrients, how much are available from what type of food material. We have given two examples, milk and bread, and you see that widely varying in all the constituents or nutrients as we have described, right. So, this is an example. Next we go into that food, there are many types. Normally we categorize, I have given all in one because okay, so that the entire thing is before you in the beginning. Food we can demarcate it as a plant source or animal source. So, if it is a plant source, then it can be of many varieties, many types. For example, it is whether cereals, example is rice or wheat or corn. If it is legumes, then it is whether soybean or others. Nuts, it could be high fat like cashew nut, or high protein like almonds, or high carbohydrate like chestnuts. So, depending on you how you are selecting your food, right. Obviously, by the side of it, let me also tell this, that nowadays people are trying to have a balanced diet. It is not that you take a lot of carbohydrate, you take a lot of protein, or you take a lot of fat. It is not like that. It is a balanced diet, so that the diet becomes very balanced and your body gets the required things as and when it is asking for, right. So, other plant origin things are like if it is root and tubers varieties. Roots and tuber varieties are carrots or beet or radishes or potatoes. There are so many, right. So, these are some examples which come under the roots and tubers varieties. Then vegetables, if you go to the market you will see many vegetables are there. For example, we have given a few: cabbage, onion, cauliflower, etc., etc. They are under the variety of vegetables. Then fruits, this is also another very big segment of the food supply, that is fruits, right. Lot of fruits are available all over the world. Maybe something is not available here at other part of the world, and maybe something is not available in some other part of the world but available here. So, like that innumerable fruits are available, right, both in terms of variety as well as in terms of the quality, right, or your choice. For example, we have given banana, orange, apple, which are available throughout the world more or less, right. So, these are all from the plant sources. According to that, you have to select, right. And then the other thing which is true is that the other source is from the animal source, right. So, I do not distinguish here that vegetarian and non-vegetarian, because that is imposed by us, right, that has been imposed by us. So, vegetarian or non-vegetarian, it does not mean anything, right, that is our. But as far as food is concerned, yes, basic source is plant origin and another basic source is from animal origin. So, animal origin, that consists of meat, like it could be from beef, could be from pork or lamb or many others, goat, this, that, so many, right. That is one variety. Second variety could be fish. Again, out of that there are many, like some are fatty fishes, some are lean fishes, some are crustaceans. So, lot many fishes are available in the market, right. So, if you go by the way, since it has come and it is a general knowledge at least, that fish, fatty fish means which has high fat, and lean which has very low fat. That is why they are demarcated as fatty or lean fish, right. Lean fish around 1 to 2% fat, and fatty fish as high as around 20% fat could be. Generally, more than 20 is not so easily available. So, that is why these two examples I have given as fatty and lean fish. Then, the last part of the animal source is the poultry, right. And under this poultry, chicken, yes, chicken is very much that is nurtured or grown in the poultry. Then some duck or maybe turkeys. So, all these are under the poultry category, and these constitute the animal source, right. It is true that both are supplying, both animal source as well as plant source are supplying all the basic nutrients you need, that is carbohydrate, fat, protein, vitamins, minerals, and a part of water, right. A part of water. You will see that the plant sources may have water content right from say around 95-98% to even 60-70% or 50%, right. That depends on the typical commodity. Similarly, in the plant origin also, that generally varies somewhere around 60 to 80% in terms of water content, right. And again, in the previous table, we have shown you that milk and bread, the wideness of the availability, that we have already shown. Similarly, that is true for all, whether it is animal sources or whether it is from plant sources, right. So, with this, because the time is very limited, at least for this first class, we would like to give you that we will continue it in the second class, so that some preamble is given, something is given, right. So, thank you all.